There was 1,036 single-family homes.
Yeah.
I do condos separately. And only 159 has sold so far.
When I list a property, it's taking me longer to get it sold. If you really want to and need to sell, you've got to come back and find the market.
So homes, they're selling in Halifax, but buyers are no longer rushing without doing their homework.
No doubt, yeah.
So, okay, these are my stats. You know, did you not see I made fun of your email the other day?
Yes, yeah, that's okay. I like it, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been having fun with the stats, and you know, who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks when it comes to getting the stats? So this is what I know.
Yeah.
So in March, there were 778 active listings when March opened up.
Yep.
Another 258 came to the market,
Yep.
making for, there was 1,036 single-family homes.
Yeah.
I do condos separately.
Separately, yeah.
So out of 1,036 homes, that's what buyers had to choose from.
Yeah.
And only 159 has sold so far, and here we are in mid-March.
Yep.
So I believe we're in a balanced market.
Totally.
So what are you hearing, like at the office right now?
Yeah, I mean, that would indicate that you have 6 or 7 months of inventory available, right? If 160 out of 1,000 are selling. So that's exactly it. I absolutely am hearing that, is that, you know, when I list a property, it's taking me longer to get it sold. You know, when I start working with a buyer, there's no guarantee they're doing anything anytime soon. You know, we're going to take our time and look for things, and they're going to be looking for something much more specific to what they originally thought they were going to look for. They're going to be more picky.
Well, there's no sense of urgency.
That's right. Exactly.
Cinderella market. Yeah. How long have I been saying that?
Yeah, I love that term. Yeah, I love that term.
It's a true story, though.
Yeah.
But, you know, the other thing that I'm noticing that, so if you are selling, you're lucky to sell in 50 days.
Yep.
And if you haven't sold yet, you know, the average is 90. So the average you're going to be on.
Yep.
There was one property, but I had to look up the address because it was on for 1,084, but it was new construction.
Yeah.
Why don't you just take that thing down and relist it again?
I agree. Yeah.
But I went back to 2023.
Yeah.
So as of right now, we have 159 sold for the month of March, and there is about another 134 that are conditional.
Okay.
Making for potential 293 sales.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's still down from 2025, where we had 313 sales.
Yeah.
We're right on par with 2024.
Yep.
And you know, we could be up from 2023.
Yeah.
But
the first half of 2023 was the slowest we've seen the market.
Oh, I know. You know what?
Years,
First time I didn't have a sale in January was January since 2012.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah. So I knew the weather had a big impact in February.
Yeah.
Like, I love snow Mondays.
I know. Yeah.
And
I hear it might snow again Sunday night.
I know, so Monday.
Yeah.
And then I thought it might pick up a little bit in March, but there's been 3 weeks rotation of spring break.
Yep.
And now with the Easter weekend, and the market is stagnant.
Yeah, it is stagnant. I agree. Yeah. Unfortunately, not a lot has changed from this time last year when we were talking, right? There's still a bunch of uncertainty. You know, I was reading the Canadian job numbers the other day, and 84,000 jobs came out of the economy, so lost, basically.
So that's not necessarily true.
Well, and I think it's important to look at the composition of the jobs and things like that too, whether they're part-time, full-time, all those types of things. But
there's a guy I follow on TikTok.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was talking about the 84,000 jobs, and he's like, people retired.
Yep.
Or you have people who are temporary workers.
Yep, totally.
So maybe not 84,000.
Right. No, it's not. And you know,
it's just a good soundbite when someone wants to be negative.
Yeah, and you know, like we're in the home selling business, and so part-time employment that comes out is impacted. Temporary employment not impacting our markets and things like that. But all of it, to your point, even if it's just a soundbite, it impacts people's belief in whether or not the economy is sound and this is the right time to buy a house, or whether prices might come down more and they can get it at a cheaper rate. That's what the mentality of a buyer is. I naturally, if I'm going to go buy anything, gas or bananas when I'm at the grocery store, I look at the price and think, oh well, yeah, that's either a fair price or it might come down at some point and I can afford to hold off. When it's housing, you can often afford to hold off, right? When it's bananas, I want to eat a banana now, so I just buy them at 87 or 97 cents, whatever.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. So my prediction going into the, the swing of the market, because isn't tomorrow the first day of spring?
It is, yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
I don't think it's going to be, there's not much changes.
It looks like it's shaping up exactly like the last 3 years have shaped up, right, at this point. So, we're kind of planning for that at the brokerage at this point, that there's not going to be a whole lot more sales this year that, we wouldn't have seen last year or even back to 2023. So I think as you're sort of budgeting as an agent, that's what you should be budgeting on for sure. If you're a buyer or seller, I mean, I think that there is still incredible opportunity out there as a buyer.
There's only opportunity for buyers.
That's right, yeah. And so I think that there should be people out there looking for that. There's now a bunch of different types of programs in place that can help you. This first-time home buyer new construction incentive, like there's some new construction stuff out there that I would like to get $40,000 off.
Now, it's so funny. There hasn't been much buzz about that program either.
No,
I know they talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and then crickets.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And so just talk to me about that, because I'm not hearing much about it at all.
Yeah, ultimately, like if you're a first-time home buyer, you can qualify to get the GST taken off of the price, right? So
is it is there a price max?
Up to $1 million. So it can go, that can go a long way, right? Like, so if you imagine, your traditional sort of like rebate that we know always is assigned to the builder, this is a new rebate that gets assigned to the builder up to $1 million that, is going to presumably come off the purchase price of the home, right? Like, you have to declare that you qualify for this, and then if you qualify for it, then that should reduce the price of that home by that amount of money, and there's some product out there in the $600,000 to $800,000 range that probably would make sense for a first-time home buyer if it comes down by $40,000, right? So that to me is where some of the opportunity lies. You mentioned the word condo. Like, I think there's condo opportunities out there. I think there are opportunities for multifamilies out there that otherwise people are a little bit sour on. So. Like, I think that the astute buyer is starting to come back in, while they can still negotiate and take advantage of some of this slowness.
I just had CUA here, and that program with the 2% down, that is an amazing program. I know some of the brokers were negative about it, but it's a great opportunity that if you want to get yourself a condo, a mobile home, or a single-family home within HRM 570, outside is 500, it's a great opportunity, especially if you had good credit, but you're just struggling for the down payment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, listen, you can always make an argument as to why a program is good or bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But I would say that for the most part, the programs that are coming along now are there to help the buyer, right? And spur on more activity there. Whether it's because we believe that there's a lack of access because of pricing. Okay, well, if you can stretch those payments out over more time or have less down or whatever the case is, that's how you solve affordability without harming the sellers in the meanwhile. Because if we just are waiting for prices to come down 30%, then there's the other half of society that owns a home is going to say, well, this sucks. You know what I mean? I should have sold this home many, many years ago, right?
Well, yes, and I sold both of my places outside of COVID.
Yeah, me too.
And here I am doing it again. But it's so funny, but in a particular price point, there's not a lot of inventory, or what's out there needs lipstick. And, I remember I met someone in the South End and they wanted a particular price for the property. And I'm like, but this one over here just sold for 2.1 and it is decked out and on the same street and you're not, but you want the same price.
Yeah. And I mean, these are the things that we've always dealt with this to a certain degree at a market, but because we've seen so much change in the market over the last little while, and people have wild new expectation of what how to put a price on a house, right? And there's also way more information out there, that you can go get access to too. So if I'm a buyer or a seller, I can have discovered some of the sale price of homes, and I'm going to pick the ones that I think are the ones that compare the most. And you, as the objective realtor coming in, have to say, I'm sorry, you don't quite match that house, right? And we need to be priced.
Like we were at a listing appointment the other day, and it was listed with another agent for $695.
Yep.
It didn't sell.
Yep.
And so now I'm doing my homework, and I'm very thorough.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go in and give you the lowest price just to sell it.
Yeah.
I want to give you a good price that you're going to make money. Everybody's going to win, right?
Yeah.
And I was at $519.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the shell shock
Yeah.
that was on this, like he was so disappointed with me, and I'm like, I am taking homes just right around him, like within that particular community, and I said that's the reality. And
Yep.
you know, homes that are $695 are 1,000 square foot bigger,
Yep.
and there's a lot more lipstick. And
I agree. This is that to me is the biggest difference than when it was like 2013 or 2014 and we were having these conversations. Those conversations were, you know, it's on at 275. I think it should be on at 259. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the delta was much smaller, because I had one almost exactly like what you're describing the other day with an agent, and they said, you know, it's on right now for $899. They're gonna it's gonna expire. They want to put it back on. And I said, well, what do you think it should be priced at? And they said $675. And I thought, my God, that's such a big delta. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's 30% overpriced at this point, not 3% overpriced, right? So,
yeah, but I see that a lot.
It happens more than
And the properties are just staying there.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're becoming stagnant,
Right.
and you're not going to sell.
You know, and again, I think that's the impact of what COVID did was, or the market during COVID was that, you know, properties that were overpriced were selling during that period, and so people are still living in that world in the seller's mind, and that just takes time to adjust, right? So
Yeah.
if you really want to and need to sell, you've got to come back and find the market.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yep.
And so the key takeaway here
Yeah.
is price it right.
Price it right, always. Yeah, always. Yeah,
Not that
for
I'm
sure.
Bob Barker, or I shouldn't even be talking about him because he's being bad in the news lately.
That's right. Yeah.
But
yeah, yeah.
anyway.
Drew Carey now. Right?
Okay.
So, yeah,
No,
yeah.
it changed
Did
again.
it change again? Who is it now?
I don't know.
We'll have to
but
go
it's
research
changed.
that. We'll
Yes.
have to research that. So, yeah,
Well, thank you, Matt, for joining today.